Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that I would be willingly saying everybody needs some form of a coach. I know it's kind of crazy, but looking back on my entire career, my world changed when I made a decision to invest in myself. My world changed completely. I mean, really look at this picture. I'm a Black single mom in Miami, putting these 2 girls to bed hungry. I have no clue. Forget just how to make it happen. I'm still trying to hold on to dear life every other day. I'm going in circles. Everything feels bleak and bleaker and bleak to the 50th power without any sense of air. But I have this glimmer of hope that maybe I'm possible. Fast forward, I make a decision to stop thinking small. I make a decision to own my story. And yes, that's a gangbuster change for me. I go from that place to building, to no longer going to bed hungry. And then I get to a place where I'm making multiple 6 figures. But I'll tell you the truth, like I made multiple 6 figures and I'm very proud of that because I had a handful of different businesses where I learned skill and know-how and I built my knowledge portfolio. But if I made $16, I spent $17, which means I was always at the mercy of how much money I made that month. I was just thinking about the todays. I never really thought about the tomorrows and scaling. What's that? I didn't even know. I think the biggest problem is I didn't know what I didn't know. So my statement is not only does everyone need a coach, but I'm going to tell you, man, plugging into someone who's bigger, badder, or has a skill that can pull out the greatness out of you, shit, we're going to do more things faster, further, and better than we've ever done before. And the dream really becomes a reality. And more importantly, we don't waste time. All right, so in this episode, we're going to walk through really, really quickly, like not only just how to find a good coach, but what is a coach and why I believe this and my own journey with coaching itself. So I grew up in a place in which every other day was focused on hustling forever. In Miami, we just have this hustle mentality, and I love it. I'm grateful because it made me who I am. But I hustle my way to 6 figures and in multiple 6 figures, but I was still strapped for cash and I didn't run a company. There was a point in which I saw an opportunity. There was low market share in an industry back in 2009. Some things were happening in my life. And I'm like, I feel like I've learned some stuff. But man, I want to know, how do these other people do it? Like, how do they actually, like I would read these books and I'd be like, these jokers look like they're taking a whole month off of work. Like a whole month. How the hell do you do that stuff? Like I had zero clue. How do you do that? That question rode me hard. And I was like, I got to figure this thing out. So I knew I knew I was good at a few things. Sales and marketing, I was gangbusters. But everything else after that, it was like, yo, this is, So I said to myself, okay, I need some answers and I need to figure it out and I'm not going to do it alone. Now, I come from a culture where investing in yourself is like taboo. Like, I don't think I knew anyone at that point who had spent more than like $40 on a book. And even like $40 was like nuts. I'd never know someone to go to an empowerment seminar or a workshop outside of religion or church or after church or revival. Like, I just didn't. Nobody I knew was doing that. I had worked in proximity with someone back in 2008, 2009 who had tipped me off to the first time ever in my life of the concept of going to a seminar. And he went to a seminar. He made a lot of money. He made like $20K a month easy. And his life just looked like a saunter. Like he had kids too. I had kids, but somehow he looked like he was sauntering through life. And he told me he went to a seminar. And I remember sitting in front of him going, oh, bah humbug. That's all BS. Those people just take your money. They just want to like, you know, they're scam artists and all this stuff. All of the lies. And I say lies because I didn't know them to be true. You get it? Like I had never gone through it. So up until that point, I was basically repeating what other people had repeated to me without any real fact. So I remember standing in front of him and telling him, But then, you know, I also couldn't help over the next 6 months. I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but the times that I did, I was like, man, his life looks a lot different than mine. Like I'm hustling, I'm making money and I'm grateful. But I was like, you look like your life is different. Fast forward, when I got this opportunity to leave Florida, head to North Carolina, I was like, okay, I am going to build a business, this kind of thing I see on TV. Now, here's what was true about that. I for sure, absolutely, like no doubt about it, I knew that I had started and already I was struggling when it came to like hiring how to trust people, how to like put together compensation plans. Like my head could not wrap around trusting other people, not wanting to do it all myself, and being a company, and then me having to transfer from being just a salesperson till forever to being the CEO of a company and a manager and a leader, because I sucked at the leadership part. I was like, I just want to do my own thing. But I knew in order for me to reach my goals and my dreams, I had to learn how to scale, and I had to learn how to hire, and I had to learn how to not suck as a manager. So I went online and I researched the name that the person had given me years ago. And I saw that they had an event, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to this event. And then I was like, the tickets are 10 grand. What? I was like, this is crazy. This is bonkers. But I, in my mind, I was like, Tiffany, go big or go home. Now, I didn't have no money in my bank account. I had like a couple $100, but there's no way I could pay. I called the company and they were like, yeah, you can come to the event. I was like, great. Where's the payment plan? And they were like, payment plan? Ha 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 ha. There is no payment plan, girl. And I was like, what? And then it baffled me. I was like, there are people who could swipe their card for $10,000 and still pay their bills. To me at that point, I had never in my life. I was baffled by it, but then I became hungry. I was like, this is definitely the room I need to be inside of. Like, for sure. Like, I can't even play with this thing. So I convinced the company to give me a payment plan. And I actually signed something that said that I forget if it was like up to 72 days or just right before the event, I had to pay the thing off in full. Now, here's what's real. I had to pay the thing off in full. And not only did I have to pay it off in full, but I was making like a payment plan on my own accord, which means they wouldn't help me. They wouldn't remind me. They weren't going to set up special links. I had to call in and send in the money. And if I had gotten to like $9,462 or $9,992, but I had not completed that last $20, I would forfeit the $9,982 I had paid. I had to pay it off. I'm going to tell you, I was so scared. I was like crazy scared out of my life. Because I was scared because of a lot of reasons. One, I had never known anyone to invest in themselves. Two, I was like, I can't even tell nobody about this. Like, I can't even tell nobody about this. I can't let anybody know I'm going to spend 10 grand on going to an event. Like, that's stupid. And then all I could think of is, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't get to the amount? But then second, what if I got to the event and it didn't help me? And I said I was just going to be scared city, but I was going to do something I had never done before. And I had just trusted what I felt. And I also said, man, if there are people who can spend $10,000 and just swipe their calls, like, I need to be near these people. Like, I just need to meet them. That was the other part of it. Taught me so many lessons. Fast forward, I pay it off with like 5 days to spare. I find myself on the other side of the US in Las Vegas by myself. And I'm very scared because I don't know anybody. I walk into this room. There's a couple hundred people, but I'm Black and I'm a woman. There's like 10 other women there. There's no other Black woman in this whole room. And all these people are looking at me like, the fashion convention is next door. Why are you in the front of the room? You should be in the back of the room. Why are you out here? Aren't you part of the staff? Like, it was actually pretty crazy because emotionally I had to gear myself up. One, when I walked into the room, I was stupid intimidated. I was like shit scared. I was stupid intimidated because none of these people look like me. They made it clear that I didn't look like them. They also made it clear that they could spend $10,000. And I was trying to figure out, like, am I going to have enough money to eat for these 4 days? Like, it was crazy. But I'll tell you what, me sitting down and you trust and believe I took every note times 100. I missed nothing. I barely got up to pee. It changed my game. Those 4 days, 5 days changed my life. I didn't know what to expect. I was just open and I made the investment. So here's the rule number one. You have to make the investment and the investment has to be painful. It's like, because if it wasn't painful, I wouldn't have felt it and I wouldn't have respected the move that I had made. Two, I needed to invest in an area and a place that was higher, bigger than myself. Period. Three, the other important lesson is that I can't see my shortcomings. And then it dawned on me because I went through that year. I came back home. I hit $1.25 million that year. I also found out I was pregnant. So I moved to North Carolina March 1st. I opened my little office in my third bedroom of the house that I rented on the internet on March 2nd. I find out I'm pregnant with Kayla on March 17th. And I am not excited about that. but I give birth in November and I hit $1 million in a little under 8 months. My lesson is I was like, man, you have to invest in yourself, because if you invest in yourself, you'll shorten the gap and you pay for the knowledge and you don't take the slow road. And I'm like, I don't have time to take the slow road. I want to spend time with my kids today. I want to go live today. All the things I haven't been able to do from hustling all these years, I got to go and do that. So that means I'm going to pay all the time for information to give it to me faster so I can get the result faster. Game changer. You know, it hit me right after that. Here's number 2. So number 2 is Usain Bolt has a coach. Like every time I looked at athletes, I realized that year and the year after is like, I'm an athlete. I'm competing. I am fighting and I have to train and I have to have a coach with me to train, like period. In some capacity, somebody else playing a bigger game needs to be around you. And then also, it's not even just that they're playing a bigger game, because that's one thing. But the other part is that someone who has the ability to sharpen your skills. So it's not just playing a bigger game. It's also sharpening your skills, because if you have someone who can sharpen your skills and they're sharp themselves, they're just going to make you better, period. And they bring forth the best part of you. Fast forward, we did $1 million the next year, then it became 2 million and so on and so forth. And I look back and I'm like, my God, I did so many crazy, amazing things, but it was because I developed a pattern of investing in myself, not trying to take the slow road, not trying to figure out everything, and not trying to have all the answers. Don't have the answers. Don't try to come up with all the answers on your own. That's just stupid and it's a waste of time. There's too much money to be made. There's too much living to be had. And there's too much you're missing out on by you trying to have all the answers. It makes so much more sense to pay someone $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for the year so that they can do most of the thinking and teach you and tell you and give you guidance by example, and or because they've already accomplished that thing to help you get to the million. Invest the $30,000 so that you can make $250,000. Invest the $30,000 so you can make $500,000. Invest the $30,000 so that you can make $1 million. Like all day, every day. I believe that wholeheartedly. There have been years, I get this question all the time, and I want to be transparent. There have been years where I've invested 6 figures, and it's like, why and how? It's like, I tell you what, I look at my life today, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I 110% look back and I thank God that I did it, because I am so grateful, because there was so much I didn't know and didn't understand, and it would have taken me a lifetime to figure that out. And because I made these small decisions to invest in myself here and there, it's allowed me to really dial into me focusing and getting better at the stuff that I kill it with. And then more importantly, learning how to build a team and resources around me for things that I don't do so well or things that I suck in. And more importantly, just get to the end result faster. That's it. Like just getting to the end result faster, because that's really it at the end of the day. We really want to get to the end result faster. And I want you to get there faster because I want you to help more people. I want you to help more people. I want you to be able to not just help more people, but I want you to do more things. And more importantly, I want you to be able to have the level of impact that you know that you were meant to have. If you can have the level of impact that you know that you were meant to have, you're going to live life in a place where you're crazy full. And you living life in a place where you're crazy full, there's almost nothing more important than that. That is literally it. That is literally the honest to God of this thing. There is literally nothing more important than that. Man, have I told you how glad I am that you're here? Like, real talk. Have I flippin' told you how glad I am that you are here? You have listened. This is the part of the show where I say, go follow us, go find us, go follow us, go stalk us, but just make sure that we're connected. Head to dothedamnthing.tv, dothedamnthing.life, or just go hang out on tiffanylargy.com. If we are not friends on Facebook, if you have not liked our Instagram page, go do that, because you're going to want to see what we're doing, how we're doing, and how we're doing the damn thing daily.